A big proportion of people in Sweden live together without marriage. They live like a normal long-term relationship. There are casual relationship. There are a bit formal long-term relationships that are called sambo, where you are officially registered that you are partners. And there are also people who are married in Sweden. In India, living together without marriage is considered scandal. In the very big cities, maybe people live together for a short time until they get married. Mostly the young adults who are in the universities or who are working, and they live together for a while. But after a certain time, they have to get married. It's not illegal to live together. This comes from the social pressure that people have. It's almost impossible. I don't know anyone who have lived together in India without marriage for their whole life. I know people who have lived together for a short while they're studying, or while they begin to work for a while, and they're young and they're living together. But if they want to spend their life together, they have to get married. All the women in India get married. There are no women who stays their whole life without getting married. Almost all the men get married. Almost all the men. I think only those men don't get married who are either jobless or criminals. They have a hard time to getting married. How people find a partner in India versus how people find a partner in Sweden are two different things. So in Sweden, two people are independently meet each other, they find a partner and they live together or they marry. Most of the marriages in India are still arranged marriages. People in Sweden will be surprised to know that still in India is the women's side who approach the men's side for the marriage proposals. So particularly when, for example, when a guy get a job, then if he has depend upon how good job he has, or what is his social status, what is his family's social status, or how much land they have, or all this kind of socio-economic situation. Based on those factors, a number of families from women's side approach the men's side to marry. Women in most of the part of India still are not independent to take their decision, as well as the men. Men's family usually choose that whom they're gonna have a relationship with. It's different in the big cities. I met some people from New Delhi and they tell that it's fairly common for the people in New Delhi to choose their partners. But in the villages and in small towns, it's still mostly the marriages are arranged marriage. This thing is illegal. This is called dowry, and still there is a lot of dowry happening in India. Dowry means like the women's family pay to the men's family. The ugly part of dowry system is that the men's family, based on what is their socio-economic situation is, they can ask for a cutoff that I want this much, at least this much amount of money in a dowry, and if you want to have a relationship with me, you have to pay more than this. It's illegal, and if they get reported, usually they can have a legal consequences. But yet, it's socially accepted thing, and it happens a lot. It still is happening. There is a very interesting thing about the family culture and individualism. I was reading this book by Yuval Noah Harari called Sapiens. And Sapiens talks about the differences in the industrial society versus the differences in the agricultural society. So agricultural society have a stronger families, and industrial societies have a stronger individual. Industries want individual to be strong so that you come out of the family and you work in the industry. Agriculture, however, fosters the family culture more. It doesn't mean that people are not connected in Sweden with their families. People are connected, but individuals are strong to take their own decisions. What is good, what is bad? Well, this is a very subjective thing here now. When families are strong, you have a strong social support, which perhaps could be weaker in industrial societies. And as the psychologists believe that there is no alternative to the social connections, so families provides a good support and a social connection to individual that can provide a good mental health and well-being. but it has downside too. So the downside is in terms of the marriages that I just explained, that individual is not free to take their own decision for their own marriage. And in these agricultural societies, mostly it's the old men or the women who are the head of the families. Usually they own all the land. Usually they have all the resources. They take most of the biggest decisions in the families. I know some of my friends from India, some women, for example, who loved one man and their family forced to marry to some other man. And then they had a miserable life after. There is a very important question here. Scandinavia has relatively much lesser poverty. It's very high in the happiness index. And still, if you see, the suicide rate, particularly in the young adults, is very high. And the question is, why is it like that? Might one of the reasons be the lack of social support and a push towards more individualism? The social support that comes from the families, from your parents, from your spouse, partners, friends, everyone together. So everything has a pros and cons. Thanks for watching the clip. If you want to see the full video, check the description box, and see you guys in the next video.